Hello again, Jake here from B&H, back with you today to discuss and demo an exciting new compact cinema camera, the Panasonic AU-EVA1, or as I like to call it, the Mini Varicam Lite. Unofficial title. This is the perfect camera release for Panasonic right now because it fits snugly between the Panasonic GH5 and the Panasonic Varicam LT. So for you filmmakers out there looking to upgrade to a higher end camera, or you're looking for a nice B camera to match your Varicam, this is going to be the camera for you. So let's begin. It is a cinema-size Super 35mm sensor, considerably larger than Micro Four Thirds and very much appreciated. The resolution is 5.7K, downsampled to 4K, therefore it's a super sampled internal recording, resulting in high-resolving images with less noise and artifacts when compared to a standard 4K resolution camera sensor. Long story short, it's going to be sharper. The EVA1 has 14 styles of exposure latitude with a base ISO of 800, which is perfectly fine for a camera like this. Remember, cameras always need light. However, if you're working in a situation where you cannot control light, Panasonic has provided dual ISO. Now, dual ISO uses alternative circuitry within the sensor rather than adding gain or shifting the gamma of the original signal output to increase sensitivity while maintaining a high signal-to-noise ratio. As I mentioned, the native ISO is 800, but if you switch to high sensitivity mode, the native ISO becomes 2500. And at either 800 or 2500 ISO, you can still use regular gain if you want, all the way from 200 to 25,600 ISO. Now, I was surprised to find the EVA uses a dual SD card slot for recording when comparable cameras have moved on to CFast or XQD recording media. But nevertheless, the EVA1 will support a V60 rated SD-XC card, which admittedly is nicer on my wallet. Codecs. All resolutions and frame rates are wrapped up as MOV files. The EVA1 can record in long-GOP codecs at launch and will add all-eye codecs in early 2018. You can shoot in both DCI 4K and Ultra HD 4K in 10-bit 422 up to 30 frames per second in either long GOP 150 or all-eye 400. The EVA1 can also use the full 5.7K sensor to shoot DCI 2K or Full HD in 10-bit 422 up to 60 frames per second at 200 megabits per second. Panasonic's variable frame rates are where things get really interesting. In addition to those other speeds, there's a mixed 2.8K mode that let you shoot 2K or HD with no cropping in 10-bit 422 up to 120 frames per second. And if you really want to get high speed, there's a mixed 2.2K mode that crops the sensor down to a 4/3 inch size so that it can shoot in 2K or HD in 8-bit 420 up to 240 frames per second. Whew, that's fast. This is probably what I'm most excited about. I've used V-Log in the GH5 before and it does a great job of capturing a wide exposure latitude, but combining that with V-Gamut is going to be fun because Panasonic's V-Gamut delivers a color space that's even larger than film. So having both of those tools allows the EVA1 to be used in both HDR and SDR production workflows. With that in mind, we tested in some high contrast environments to see how the V-Log held up. The EVA1 is light. The body comes in under 3 pounds, which is really nice on my elbows and wrists. The hand grip on the side along with the top handle makes your hand holding much more convenient. And those grips come off, so the size and weight also make it very compatible with gimbal technology. I can easily put this on a Ronin M or a larger drone as long as I use small compact lenses. Speaking of stabilization, the EVA1 will power in-lens stabilization for lenses that offer it, plus has electronic image stabilization for any lens that doesn't. Stabilization is great from a camera this size, and there's very few of this type to offer it. We went out and tested the EIS with our very own West Wing style walk and talk in the hallways here at B&H. Just like the Varicam LT, the EVA1 features a native EF lens mount, which is a logical choice as it enables shooters to use a broad EF lens family, which encompasses many brands of lenses, so you're not limited in your lens choice. The lens mount itself does have electronic contacts for communication with compatible lenses, as well as enabling one-push autofocus. However, if you're a GH5, GH4 shooter, your native Panasonic Micro Four Thirds lenses will not work on this camera, because they don't project a big enough image to cover the EVA1's Super 35 sensor. Sad face. Fans of the GH5 will be happy to know the EVA1 has built-in ND filters providing exposure control in 2, 4, and 6 stops. The IR cut filter can also be actuated electronically, allowing for night vision and unique photographic effects. Outputs include one BNC locking connection that supports HD, 3G, and 6G SDI outputting, a 10-bit 422 signal for both 4K up to 30 frames per second and Full HD up to 60 frames per second. There's also an HDMI output for 4K and HD up to 60 frames per second. What's really important is that they can both work at the same time even while the camera is recording. And this is great because you can send an output to multiple monitors or recorders at different resolutions. So for instance, you can send an HD signal with normal color and contrast to a director's monitor, while also sending a 4K signal in V-Log and V-Gamut to a recorder. There's also a BNC connection for timecode in and out for syncing with audio recorders or other cameras, which just adds to the EVA1's professional functionality. Although there is no built-in viewfinder, the 3.5-inch touchscreen monitor makes up for it. It is an incredibly sharp 1.1 million dot LCD, providing critical built-in monitoring tools and scopes like peaking, waveform, zebras, and spot meter. The EVA also utilizes focus squares, a feature originally found in the Varicam line, which will display an array of green squares that grow in size when their local area appears to be sharp, to enable shooters to get critical focus. And if you wish to use a separate monitor, these tools can be sent out through the SDI output. If you prefer an eyepiece, the Zacuto offers a Z-Finder loop designed specifically for the EVA1 LCD, which is particularly helpful when trying to lock in focus while shooting outdoors on a bright sunny day. And of course, no pro camera is complete without audio inputs. The standard 2XLR audio inputs can be found on the camera body, providing 24-bit, 48 kHz LPCM audio files for high-quality recordings. Whew, okay, not gonna lie, the camera far exceeded my expectations, and I've got a pretty good feeling that the Panasonic AU-EVA1 is gonna turn a lot of heads. Between the internal image processing to the EF lens mount and the affordable SD cards, this camera can fit into almost any production workflow. I was very impressed with the camera's performance and image quality. The downsampled 4K matched up with the V-Log and V-Gamut Color Space, plus the dual ISO. I mean, it really feels like the Panasonic AU-EVA1 is going to make a noticeably cinematic difference in your video work. Well, I hope you enjoyed our hands-on review. What are your thoughts on the Panasonic AU-EVA1? Let me know in the comments below. This is Jake with B&H. Just keep shooting.
Okay. Good. Ready to go across.